So Knox Chivero came guns blazing. In fact, what he intended to do was to expose to the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, the corruption that has been carried out by Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, detailing how Budawashe Takwere was introduced into looting state coffers. In simple terms, he was giving the side of the retired General Chiwenga of the story to Cyril Ramaphosa over that account, because most probably Chiwenga was not invited in the table. Cyril Ramaphosa has one-sided information, and also included the fact that they are aware of even the discussions that took place. So it was quite clear from Knox Chivero that what the Zviganandas as well as also Marakashi were trying to portray about the meeting of Ramaphosa and Mnangagwa is not what exactly transpired. And also, apart from that, he gave a detailed account of how actually the rift between Mnangagwa as well as the military generals kick-started and went as far as also giving hint to the Operation makaziwanepi. He talked of that particular operation, saying it is on the horizon. In fact, Knox Chivero should be taken seriously, and also he emphasized that the people of Zimbabwe must be aware of what is happening in their country. Of course, he understands that a lot of Zimbabweans at the moment calling for action, saying that is also on the horizon, as he hinted Operation makaziwanepi and repeated that the mention of a progressive force. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So today, Knox Chivero, I think he shouldn't be taken for granted. I know a lot of people are waiting for action, but the information that he released today, someone may say we know it, but not to the extent he presented it, and he had papers that were printed to him. So for those who think that the rift between Mnangagwa is manufactured. Where do you think actually Mnangagwa and Chiwenga is manufactured? Where do you think Knox Chivero is getting this information and command on what to speak? And also, so he gave a detailed information. I think I don't have to repeat that. I'm just analyzing and the key, showing you the importance of today's speech, and also presenting his side of the story. In fact, the side of the story of Chiwenga to Cyril Ramaphosa, most probably because they were not given an opportunity to also say their side of the story in the conflict. I think in simple terms, he gave us a clue that Ramaphosa was not coming to Zimbabwe, just to be manipulated by Mnangagwa in a way he think he did, but he was coming to knock some sense into the head of Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. The person that he spoke largely and at length with, it was none other than Budawashe Takwere, and also giving us an insight of how the fallout between Mnangagwa and the retired military generals began, saying it began with the military generals. After giving Mnangagwa power, they gave him all the intelligence that they had gathered about Budawashe Takwere. Instead of Mnangagwa going to act against Budawashe Takwere, having heard that Takwere had looted billions of United States dollars Mnangagwa called for a private meeting between him and Gudawashe Chagure and say, if you give me those billions, I would not arrest you, I will protect you. And this is what has been happening. And that's when the fallout between the military generals as well as also Emmerson Mnangagwa started. Also, Knox Chivero revealing that Mnangagwa was not very popular, but the military understood that he was the next person to take over from Robert Gabriel Mugabe, and as such, they brought him knowing that he is not a popular man, he is not supported by the people of Zimbabwe, but the question is why would they do so? And also indicating how he has become ungrateful. So he went at length in terms of portraying the criminality that is undertaken by Emmerson Mnangagwa, and also revealing, it's very, very good that we've been saying this group of people called Mashurukwi definitely are linked to the government, and Knox Chivero putting the nail on the coffin on that matter, that Emmerson Mnangagwa is in charge of all gold mines, and Mashurukwi, people who have been, these thugs who have been killing our people, particularly in Matabeleland. These people, they belong to Emmerson Dambudzo. It's a gang for Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa that is working for him. That is why you would not see these thugs being arrested. If they kill your child, if they kill your wife, your husband, and also women are involved into mining in Matabeleland, there won't be any remedy in spite of reports to the police stations, and the police cannot go after these criminals because these are criminals linked to Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Now, where I like it, remember Blessed Geza revealed, because Knox Chivero is taking over from the Blessed Geza revolution. You should understand it from that standpoint. Now, Knox Chivero, of course, someone may say, but why giving us all this account? We want action. But remember, Blessed Geza said, we've been playing our cards on the open for quite some time. Now it is the time and the period to actually play our cards through our chest. He hinted about Operation makaziwanepi, which means there is an operation on the horizon. Maybe as we are speaking, it has already started, or it shall actually begin anytime soon. But there is that operation of some sort. He revealed also that the dockets for zviganandas are already prepared. They are there. It's just a matter of days. Or it's just a matter of minutes, it may be a matter. He did not reveal that, but he revealed the operation that is on the horizon. He also revealed the fact that they are dockets. And also, he did not mince his word on the promotion of the son of Emmerson Mnangagwa, questioning his training, that Sean Mnangagwa was paraded as the best thing that ever happened in the military, saying he was absconding military training and actually looking for women. That was saying, of course, we don't like to speak about someone else's father, but because of the extent of corruption, present corruption that has been carried out by Emmerson Mnangagwa, we are compelled to raise these issues. So definitely there would be consequences. Knox Chivero assured, actually, in fact, in a hidden way, he demonstrated that there would be consequences, there would be action, but not giving details to the nitty-gritties. And also speaking about Emmerson Mnangagwa's intervention in terms of releasing the assassin, who is a major who was actually tasked to take down retired General Chwenga, and linking that to Emmerson Mnangagwa himself on how actually he gives instructions to the state institutions not to do their jobs, and indicating clearly that the state institutions are captured, and also detailing how Mnangagwa has been wiping out resources using some individuals such as Professor Mtuli Ncube Kuvamatanga, the secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and also his son, who is also working in the Ministry of Finance, how they have been siphoning the state resources through the companies such as Mutapa Investment. There was actually a detail of how this is done and how kickbacks are paid to individuals such as Professor Mtuli Ncube, as well as to individuals such as Kuvamatanga. Listening to that, you could see that we don't have a state under Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Zimbabwe is worse than Colombia. The way actually the Knox Chivero portrayed it in terms of corruption, it is done in front of our eyes, and Zimbabweans have this information. Now let me go to this point. Why would Knox Chivero give such a detailed account? It is for the purposes of the world also. They know that this information, apart from Zimbabweans consuming it, also the world is consuming this information. So if they see any action orchestrated, they are just laying out bare the case of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Because when the day of reckoning, or the hour or the minute of reckoning finally approaches, there won't be a time to actually detail this. They may detail this maybe when the struggle is already completed, but they want the people of Zimbabwe to be aware why it is necessary for this government to be uprooted and removed, and the extent of damage that Mnangagwa is doing each and every time he is allowed in that office. So they wanted to lay it bare for every Zimbabwean to be aware of what is happening, the extent of damage and harm that has been done by the regime of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. And by the way, making this announcement does not mean that there is no plan or there is no strategy. Also talking, painfully about how Mnangagwa has been ungrateful, and indicating that he was already defeated by Grace Mugabe and G40 and the military generals who sacrificed their lives, such as Winston Sigauke Mapranga, military generals such as Valerio Spanda, such as retired General Chuenga, and others who sacrificed, risked their lives to gun up for the G40 and successfully defeated. Gave Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa authority that he is now abusing, and has turned it against the very same people that assisted him. I can attest to you that the situation in Zimbabwe, as things stand, it is not well. Things are going offhand, and I'm sure even Mnangagwa is smelling it. Zviganandas also are feeling the heat. Chiwenga, that they thought they had defeated, he is seemingly coming out strong. He has all the information. He understands what they have been doing. The man has been quiet, but he understands everything. All the deals, all the dirty games that were played, he has the paperwork. He is ahead of everything. He gets to know about everything, even talking about the meeting of Mnangagwa with Cyril Ramaphosa, that they knew about that meeting. There was no attack per se on Cyril Ramaphosa, except to tell him their side of the story, because they were not given an opportunity, and there was no way Ramaphosa was going to listen to retired General Chuenga, as Zviganandas tried to hijack the purpose of the meeting of Cyril Ramaphosa, was coming to warn Mnangagwa that the military is not pleased with his constitutional amendment bill number 3. That was the thrust, even though the Barakashis gave a certain impression that Cyril Ramaphosa was coming for something else, yet they know it very, very well deep down they are conscious that he was not coming for what they would have wanted him to come for in Zimbabwe. There is more to actually ventilate on Knox Chivero because of the time of the day. We will continue to do some more tomorrow. I understand there is also another retired military general who has also fallen. They are falling so fast and almost on a weekly basis. They were burying another one this week. They will bury also another one next week. Who knows the other week? And each day as they go by in Zimbabwe, I will give you the story in detail. Definitely tomorrow morning. You will always want the version of this channel because we explain it like no other. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okancubu Mhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on